From the sunny winter of Switzerland, we are going to speak about the importance of intrapreneurship with Jacqueline. Jacqueline, could you please introduce yourself and what do you do for business?
Yes, good morning all. For business, I'm a consultant in between Geneva, Switzerland, France, and Africa. And I help my customer to have their people be more happy, be more autonomous, and learn new skill within their company.
And where does Africa fit on your business map?
Well, in the middle, I believe. My link with Africa is very strong because my mom was born in La Réunion Island. So until I was 10, I believe we spent 3 months outside Switzerland going back and forth. And we had the chance to visit all Africa, more East Africa, I believe, at the time. And then in my 30, I moved to Morocco and I stayed there for 20 years. So in Morocco, I was an entrepreneur and then I was working for big companies. So my link with Africa is very strong.
That is great. Okay, so you decided to, let's say, specialize or talk about intrapreneurship. What do you mean by that?
Yes. Intrapreneur is, it's not the opposite, it's dependent of entrepreneur, but one creates within a company. Which means that as an entrepreneur will take all the risk and do his venture alone. An intrapreneur will do the same venture, but inside a company.
Why is that important?
Well, it is important because I believe we are living times where people want to be involved. They want to create their own jobs. They want to be part of the change within companies, and they need to be given the skills to do it, I believe. And more than this, what we have seen from years of experience is that eventually your collaborators are the people who know the best the product the company does, the clients the company has or want to touch, and the proceeds within the company. So they are in the really best place to help the company gain new market, new brands, new everything.
What kind of training and what kind of mindset is required so that people can, let's say, be able to work on their own or to achieve this intrapreneurship?
Well, I believe the first skill is collaboration, because nobody can work alone. And that's really the opposite of an entrepreneur. An entrepreneur has to make other link, but within a company, you have to make link from the top to the bottom if you want your project to go forward. That's the first thing. So collaboration is really, really important. You have to get a lot of digital skills because you need to use tool, I believe, to see your project, how it is going, thing like that. And more than this, you have to be agile. You have to learn that this project can go on maybe, or this one will fail, but a failure is not a stop. It's just a lesson learned.
So like you're breaching like full cooperation between all the employees in an establishment. Is that an easy process where there is a leader or there is a business owner who always guides or dictates the road for the business?
No, it's not an easy journey because you have to get the sponsorship from the top at first, because if you don't have resources, which mean money for the program you are intending to do, or even people to involve into the project. So if you don't have those resources, it won't go nowhere. So that's for sure. We have to knock at the door of the CEO or the business manager. That's for sure. But also, we have to have the support of all other employees. So it's really politics. We have to play a nice politic game also.
Okay, so if you are reaching like more, or let's say a wider space of freedom for the other people in an establishment to contribute their voices and to contribute their input and innovation in the development of this establishment, right?
Yeah.
So how is it possible, or let's say what kind of self-development is required for these people to be able to put forward their own voices? Like, can anyone suggest or advise?
Yes, I believe, and this is really important for me. I believe every company has its own rules, but within the program I try to set in place, I want them to be democratic. I want everybody to be able to raise his or her voice, because everybody has ideas. Whether they are going to do a good business, that's not the question. But the ability to raise one's voice is really important, I believe, if you want to help people develop their skills.
Okay, that is really great to know. Like, what exactly do you do through this program?
Well, depending on the will of the company and also on its maturity within the empowering their staff, we can launch two different kind of programs. The first one is really, really ambitious, and it needs lots of time, lots of support from everyone within the company, and also the middle management. That's very important. So we will check up on why will the company make the program, what are the means are given, what we are waiting for it. And we usually sign a contract for 3 seasons. A season can be 8 to 12 months. So it does take a long time. For companies who want to do something more soft or are not really dedicated to help their people at first, we will launch smaller program which are really based on a lean startup program. And each employee can call up on the platform. We did a platform to open our program, and can just give his interest and say, okay, I'm very interested to be an entrepreneur. This is my idea. And the next day or the next week, he will receive a box on his office. And within the box, there will be all the material necessary to start up his idea, to pitch his idea, to present his idea to the committee. And he will work quite alone for 2 months, but I did give a lot of resources, a lot of video, lots of tutorial, things like that. And we are not in front to help them, but we will come in front after the 2 months. After the 2 months, we have a jury, and we say, okay, this project does fit with what the company wants to do, so we take it. This one doesn't fit, but which means that it's not a failure. It's just a try, but the try is not in heart with what the company wants to do at this moment. So let's put it there and see what it means maybe in 1 year or in the year after. So everybody in some sense wins, whatever you go far or not, that's not the question, but everybody has the power to give it a try and to see what happens after 2 months. And after 2 months, we have a scale-up phase for 6 months, and then they will stop their current work and come with us in the incubator and only work on their project. And then we will give them some resources, some money resource, a team if they need a team, and the project can go on like that.
Okay, that is more than awesome. So my question here, like you mentioned earlier, the political atmosphere environment where these people work, like, is it the same in Africa as in Europe? Like, is the amount, the space of freedom available in the same amount on both sides of the Mediterranean?
Oh, it depends. Each company has its own way of see things. And I've seen big company in Africa which are really open, while small company in Switzerland are not that open. So this really depends on the background of the CEO and where the company aims to go. So there's no rules, I believe.
Okay, my other question here, like you are breaching a lot of freedom and a lot of innovation on the side of the employees. Like what kind of mindset do you require from these people? Like some people just get the job and then that's it, it's over.
Yes, absolutely. So what we are trying to give them with is really autonomy, the ability to raise one voice. And maybe what is kind of interesting also, it's saying that innovation doesn't belong only to innovation department, and everybody can raise an idea which can be sustainable for the company. So this is where we aim to, because if you look at all those big company having report on the skill, tomorrow's skills, what the people will need by 2030, things like that, autonomy and entrepreneurship are really the more in-demand skills today. So this is what really we want to do. We want people to be happy to go to work and say, okay, it's not only you have to do the job you've been assigned to, but if you have an idea, if you think you can do your job better, if you think the company can go this way with new product or new clients, well, give it a try.
So my question here, you mentioned that autonomy and entrepreneurship are the main required skills in the coming years. Why is that?
I believe we have seen people say, there are a lot of people debating around GZ and GY. I don't think, this is not my debate. I believe as of today, everybody, whatever the age, whatever gender, whatever the place you are in the world, get the same amount of information. And everybody wants to be in a company that is looking at the same time at the revenue, but also is trying to have an impact, a positive impact. Everyone wants to have a mission, not only a work that gives him or her some money at the end of the month. So the mindset of people is really changing, I believe. They want more than a work. They want more than what we can call a job, an alimentary job. They want to know what they are doing and why and who they serve. So this is where it reach entrepreneur, because an entrepreneur is somebody who is passionate. 5 years ago, passion is not a word that would have been linked to a company, but people want to be passionate. They want to balance private life and work life. We've seen that with the pandemic, you work from home, so hours are keeping growing. You work, maybe if you have a team all over the world, you work within the night. So all those paradigms are really changing very, very fast. And people just don't want to have a work only for money. They want to have an impact.
Yeah, that is great and really inspirational to know, Jacqueline. I really appreciate your great endeavors and great input today. Thank you so much for that indeed, Jacqueline.
Thank you.